In this exercise, we will practice the basic comprehensions, list, set, and dictionary comprehensions in Python. The purpose of this exercise is to create a calendar using list comprehensions. So let's start with the first question. The first question is asking us to write a list comprehension to create numbers from 1 to 31 and appending the prefix 1 to these numbers. Basically, you can think about this as days in the month of January. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a list, let's call it L, and I'm going to use formatted string. So I'm going to say 1 is the prefix, I'm going to prefix it to day. Okay, so that's my variable here. And that's the expression, you can think about this as the function, the mini function that I want to apply on my variable day. That's the expression for day in numbers from 1 to 31. So that's a range in between 1 to 32. Don't forget that this one is exclusive. So we get a list from 1 to 131. The second question is asking us to convert this list to a string and print each entry on one line. So we can either use the function join, but we want to join a new line, which is \n for a new line, joining list, and you can see that we have a new line feeds here in between each entry and the other. Now again, when you look at the string representation, keeps the special characters here and keeps the two quotes. If you want to see it, printed out, we need to use the function print. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to assign this to a variable called line. I'm going to print line here, and I'm going to see now that I have these values successfully printed each on one line. The other way to do it is to use the function reduce. So in this particular example, I don't need to write a reducer because it already exists in string. It's useful to look at reducers because in many applications, what we want to do, reducing the list to one value, may not exist. Okay, so I'm going to write a function. Let's call it combine. I'm going to combine two strings here. So the two strings are x and y, and I want to return x plus a new line plus y. Now the function combine is a function that works on two strings. If combine hi and then by, I get hi by okay. We have a problem here. Plus y, hi and by. It's always a good idea to test. Okay, so it combines them, adding a new line in between. Okay, now the next step is to basically reduce our list L to one value using the function combine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the function reduce, and reduce takes two parameters, the reducer function, which is combine, and the list of value, which is L. And that's going to give us the same thing as we got above. So I can do line is equal to reduce, combine an L and print line, and that will be the same thing. Okay, so far so good. So that's the month of January. So let's update the comprehension so that the prefix vary from 1 to 12 to generate all days in the year. And we'll not worry about incorrect dates for now, because not all of the months, as we know, not all months have 31 days. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going now to modify my list comprehension a bit. I'm going to make it so that my formatted string is month-day, right? So now I have two variables that I want to combine in that way. And I'm going to start with months first, because I want to list all days in the months first. So my month will go from 1 to 12, range 113, and then within each month, I'm going for each day in range 132. So that's my list, and you can see that we have the month of January here, and then the month of February, and so on and so forth. Okay, now the problem here is that we have a problem, is that not all of the months have 31 days, and plus February is either 28 or 29 days. This year, 2020, February was 29 days. It was a leap year indeed. So this year was actually 29 days. So we need to make it a bit better. So we need to basically check whether the date is valid or not. So here we are being asked to use a function called valid date. Well, this function, we have not been given this function here, but let's write this function really quickly. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to assume that this function takes two parameters, day and month, and returns a Boolean value depending on whether the combination is correct or incorrect. So how do I know that the combination is correct? Well, so the day should be less than the maximum number of days per month. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to store the maximum number of days in each month in a dictionary. So I know that January is 31 days, February this year is 29 days. It's possible actually to probe the system date to know whether this year was a leap or not, but that's a different story. Let's now assume it's fixed. I'm going to make it 29 days since this video is most likely to be watched in non-leap years than leap years. And let's do March, will be 31 days. April is 30 days. May is 31 days. And June is 30 days. Okay, July is 31 days. February is 31 days too. September is 30 days. Okay, October is 31. November is 30 days. And December is 31 days. So what I did here, I have created this dictionary called days of the months. Now, whenever I get a day here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the maximum number of days in this month, which I can consult by checking the day of month, days of months, for my month. So if, say for instance, I get month equals to 2, the maximum day is 28 in this case. And simply speaking, I'm going to say this is a valid day as long as day is less or equal to the maximum number of days in the corresponding month. That's basically my valid date function. So for instance, valid date of month February 28 should be true. So we got an issue here. Key error is 28. Let's see. We call the function the other way around. It takes day first and then month second. So okay, day 28, month 2 is going to be true, but if I do day 29 and month 2 is going to be false. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this function to filter out my list comprehension. Again, let's take a look at the list comprehension here. The list comprehension now only has a mapping part. It's basically mapping this, you can think about this expression as a mini function for month and day over these ranges. Next, I'm going to add a filtering part. I'm going to say only if valid date, month, well, day and month. Okay, so only keep these entries when this is a valid date. And now look, you can see that January goes to 31, but February goes only to 28, and March goes only to goes to 31. That's correct. April should only go to 30. Okay. So we added two things. We added the mapping part, the applying this expression to those two variables, and we added the filtering part. Obviously, if you want to print this, then we can do something like print \n dot join L, or we can reduce L using the combine function as we have seen to get a calendar printed out. Let's take a look at the next question. So the next question is completely independent. That's the example we've seen last time actually. In this example, we have an English to French dictionary, E to F, and we're being asked to create a French to English dictionary using a dictionary comprehension. So the dictionary comprehension is the following. I'm going to do it in two ways. One of them is using the items method, because remember the item method will convert your dictionary to a list of items, and each item is a tuple. So what I can say, okay, I need a new dictionary, but I'm going to flip the order of values and key for key value in e2f.item and get a new dictionary here. The other way to create this dictionary using a comprehension is to iterate over e2f. If you iterate over a dictionary, it's going to be an iteration over its keys. For example, if you do k for k in e2f, you're going to get hi, bye, bread, water, and so on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a dictionary comprehension for k in e2f, but here I want to associate the value associated with the key itself. So what's the value of key? It's e2f key to key for key in e2f, and that's gonna give us the same f2e dictionary. So the last step we need to do is just to assign it here to f2e or f2e.